Oh, do you want to take
Oh,
do you have two extras? Sorry.
Two extras. Those are just extras, I think. So
Here's
take
one
them
right
out
here,
of
though.
one.
Oh, this is for some,
Yeah,
here's
'cause
an
it was
extra
right there,
agenda.
but-
Okay. These are the other, yeah.
Thank you.
One more minute, please.
Right, so she actually, but he will be in.
Oh, that's.
So he is the new. Yes. No, he is the new one. He is like the yes, the headquarters of the. I don't. The headquarters is in Korea.
No, headquarters is in DC. PAC region is in Okinawa.
That's where you're
PAC West
West.
is in Korea. That's the district.
This is Dr. Sherwood's going to Korea.
Korea. PAC West.
PAC West.
Yes.
But we almost always have had somebody from Okinawa on our
He
call.
is acting. He's
Okay.
like the interim. He came January because Dr. Arrington left in January.
Arrington, I remember, that's why I knew his name, yeah.
Dr. Morzak is the interim,
Interim in Korea. Okay.
but he came from
Oh,
Okinawa.
I totally. There you go. Just to add a little more. Exactly. Yeah. I know. Yeah. 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 Yeah, oh, I need one, the.
Do you need a pen? Yeah.
I think everybody got this.
Okay,
Oh, we
I'm
good?
ready.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right, good evening, everyone. I'm going to call our third Board of Ed meeting to order. It is February 15th at McCool Middle School, 6:04 we're going to start. So I'd like to welcome everyone, all the administration, fellow board members. And we're going to start with Ms. Wiley with our community superintendent's report.
Okay, I'm gonna take off my mask so that you can hear me. I am going to, go over the enrollment for our 4 schools. Updated enrollment for McCool, virtual, we have 2 students. In person, we have 804, a total of 806. Guam High School, 7 virtual, 473 in person, total of 480. Anderson Elementary School has 5 virtual, 776 in person, total of 781. Anderson Middle School has 1 virtual, 271 in person, 272. I also wanted to introduce, if you could move this slide. This is our new superintendent for PAC West. Dr. Jacob Sherwood is coming from Puerto Rico as the community superintendent. He will arrive in Korea, that's where he will be based out of. He will arrive there about the middle of March. He should come to Guam the 1st of May. So and he will visit the commands and the schools, okay? But next school year, we will continue to have Dodea Virtual School for 22-23. There will be 1,000 students throughout Dodea. Registration, you should have gotten information. Registration will start on the 1st of March and goes to the 25th of March, and it's on a first-come basis. So put that on your calendar if you're interested in that. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the parents for supporting us in our process of mitigating our schools and ensuring that we stay face-to-face. It's very important that we stay in school, and we're really working hard. The administrators, the teachers, everyone is working very diligently to keep our students in school, and thank you, parents. However, please, please, check your students in the mornings, do your pre-screening. If the child is feeling sick, please keep them home, because it's beneficial to them as well as the school and keeping all of us in school. Okay. I visited all of the schools starting in January, wonderful visits. I enjoyed seeing the kids in classes and working with the administrators. So, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, appreciate the update. All right, we have our principals' reports. We'll start with Anderson Elementary with Mrs. Struess.
All right. So some noteworthy events that we've had is we'd like to welcome our assistant principal. He came in November, so it's Mr. Rickett. We've done some activities like Spirit Week, and we had the choir participate in tree lighting. We have joined forces with security forces, and we've done videos for the kids so that they can bring their dogs on the campus so that they don't run up and want to pet the dogs. We've taught them appropriate behavior, so that's been really successful. We've also used our Dolphin News to teach our students about kindness and our expectations with our behavior matrix. Huge improvement throughout the whole school. We talked about, we went in for the cafeteria. I was on Valentine's Day, so you got Valentine's, Super Bowl, and it was the 101 day of school celebration. And still, they followed all the rules, and there wasn't like chaos, which you normally would see around that time. So we were really proud of them. So that seems to be working really well. PT really helped us a lot. We've changed our Basta Bucks to Dolphin Stars to reinforce the 3 R's. And they've helped us with prizes with that. We have over 24 after-school clubs running at this time. And we've done various fundraisers. We just recently closed the drive for pet supplies for the animal shelter. So we have our year 1 goals that align to the district objectives. And so some of the things that we have done over the last 3 or 2 months is we have created a school-wide data tracking system so that we have our school-based assessments so we can track growth from our students from the beginning to the end of the year. We have run professional development where we actually got feedback from the teachers to find out what areas they needed plus through walkthroughs, and we have created professional development that was based on their needs and their grade level, so it was very differentiated, and we broke up into groups, and that was been really successful. And we're working on getting ready to do our project-based learning training in March on 11th. And with the culture, some of the things I already named that are on there, but we continue to support our students in being safe with the COVID measures, so we keep talking to them about hand washing, social distance, home-based screening, and proper mask wearing. That's our report.
Wonderful, thank you so much. Really good work there. Anderson Middle School, Dr. Dial.
Good evening. Just to follow up with Mrs. Struess, we've been talking to our parents a lot about reminding our kids of our COVID strategies, and she talked about the daily screenings and keeping your kids home when you're sick and providing well-fitted masks and clean masks and, talking to your kids about wearing them properly. Also communicating with us as soon as possible if, your student is not feeling good or they test positive. Another big thing that we want you guys to remember is to please don't be upset with us work with the school when we have to send your babies home. It's because we are just trying to do it out of an abundance of caution. So don't be upset with us and, you know, just work with us and we will do what we need to do to make sure your baby is successful. Last week, we celebrated National Counseling Week, and so we celebrated two extraordinary women in the land of the Dolphins, Mrs. Norma Jow, who is our school counselor, and Mrs. Christine Camacho, who is our MFLAC. These ladies make contributions and sacrifices every day in the land of the dragon to young adult, young and old, even the old, because I know I sit in their office a couple times a week. So we just want to just say hey to them. I have a few more things, but I'm going to let our special guest later talk about them. But last but certainly not least, we're celebrating Black History Month, and AMS is celebrating through some National History Day projects, through Dragon Cast TV announcements, and also various classroom activities. So we're excited about that. But thank you guys.
Thank you so much, and yes, counselors are wonderful people.
Yes, they are.
McCool Elementary and Middle School, Dr. HB.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you to our Continual School Improvement Committee, our teachers and parents who participated in our first virtual parent university, which took place on Tuesday, February 1st, 2022. And we were so proud of our teachers and specialists who shared different games and instructional strategies to improve our children's literacy skills. And we thank all of our parents who participated. That was our first virtual parent university. One of our middle school teachers also sponsors an after-school club called YES, which is an acronym for Young Environmental Stewards. Now, this program actually is affiliated with NAFAC. It's a Marianas initiative, and it's aimed at engaging youth in environmental stewardship. So currently, the program is really only functioning at McCool Elementary, and our hope is that it will move out into the community as a part of the Guam Public Schools. Rear Admiral Nicholson was supposed to attend. We were so excited because we thought he was going to be coming because the meeting is tomorrow. However, duty called. So in place of Admiral Nicholson, we'll have our very own community superintendent, Ms. Wiley, in attendance from 3 to 4. So that should be very, very nice. And then our boys volleyball and girls soccer teams won their first games, and more wins are on the horizon.
Great.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Until they play those dragons.
Oh, God, whatever.
Some rivalry there. And Mrs. Watts from the high school?
Good afternoon, everyone. Just from Guam High, we have our latest edition of our Panther Press that has our information that we send out weekly. One of the things that we want to highlight, on Wednesday, we're having our Potter Puff football, and this is between the juniors and the seniors, and we're having our first third quarter pep rally on Friday. So we'll have some activities, introduce our sports teams, and just have a great time for our first COVID-approved third quarter pep rally. But also I want to give you some updates about our senior class reminders that all the seniors and parents have received the information. Our second senior parent meeting is on February the 23rd via Google Meets, and the code has been sent out. We have started to receive some of our caps and gowns in. We got some in.
Wow.
We got some yesterday.
Exciting.
We're gonna give some out tomorrow, so parents, please be patient with us. As they come in, we'll distribute them. We've also discussed with our students, we talked about our commencement exercise. Being at Guam High School, we were looking at a plan to increase the number of tickets. Right now it is 4 per student, but we've looked at our plan from last year, and we're seeing where we may be able to, pending approval, that we may be able to increase it to 6. And so we're hoping to do that to invite families in, but also students were informed about the appropriate dress, shoes, caps and gowns, our rules of decorum, and just all over. And so that it continues to be forthcoming, as well as all of our other underclassmen and their announcements. February 22nd, 22222 is our day, which will be ties, tutus, and toga day. So, feel free to join us, and that is all from Guam High School.
Yay. And do you have when is graduation, the date?
So graduation, that is a great question.
Oh, sorry, I didn't.
June 3rd.
It is June the 3rd.
June 3rd, that's so exciting. And do you
I
know
just
how
said
many,
that today.
how many graduates you have?
Right now, we have 100.
Oh, great.
We're still enrolling students, so.
Oh, so,
Oh, wow.
but about 100, that's wonderful, great.
But it's June 3rd. And right now, it will be at Guam High School, however, we did go out into the community to look at, support us in case we're able to increase them.
Increase, wonderful, yes. Huge opportunities, that's wonderful. All right, we're gonna move on to new business. Major Sean Nelson and Lieutenant Commander Kenneth Willard, are they joining us virtually then? Will we be able to see them or just hear them?
Likely hear them.
Okay, so are they on and, sorry, I just can't see if they're
Yeah, if
ready.
they're on, they could unmute whoever's
Okay.
ready to speak and we'll.
Yeah, this is Major Nelson from Wilmington Air Force Base.
Thank you for
Hi, good evening. This is Lieutenant Commander Willard from Naval Hospital Guam.
Fabulous, thank you, gentlemen.
Hi, welcome. So we were hoping, you are public health representatives and you're gonna give us an update for COVID mitigations?
Medication.
That is correct, ma'am.
The floor is yours.
Okay. Hey, Ken, do you want me to start or do you want to go ahead?
No, go ahead, Sean. All yours.
Okay. So here at Anderson Air Force Base, what we do, pretty much we align with the CDC for the most part in terms of quarantine, isolation. I sent Ms. Wiley, Major Lakai and myself sent an email a little bit earlier that kind of outlined of our procedure that we do for isolation and quarantine. And ma'am, you're more than welcome to distribute that to whomever you need to. But I'm just going to go over just some of the quick specifics of it. So really what it comes down to is for isolation and quarantine, it's just 5 days, whether it's isolation or quarantine, and it's based upon if you didn't have any symptoms, it's on the day that you tested. If you had symptoms, it starts when the symptoms started. So if you had symptoms a day or two beforehand and then you got tested, your 5 days starts the 2 days prior when you first started having the symptoms. And if you do have symptoms, you test positive and you're isolated, then if you tested through Anderson Air Force Base, public health here, we will follow your case and we will be the ones to go ahead and release you. For people who end up becoming close contacts with that positive case, they will at that time get a date of 5 days of when they should be released. So so basically, as long as they're not having any symptoms, they can go ahead and return back to their normal activities at the end of 5 days. They don't necessarily need to be released officially from public health to do so. However, if they do start developing symptoms, then they can definitely notify us or the school for further instructions. The one exception to the close contacts is going to be kids, and this is probably more for middle school or high school, are going to be kids who are fully vaccinated. So those members who are fully vaccinated, they do not need to quarantine because they are fully vaccinated. They just need to watch for signs and symptoms. And they do develop any signs or symptoms, then they need to go ahead and just stay at home and contact their provider or public health for further guidance. Trying to think. I think that's about it. Do you have anything additional to say, Ken?
Yeah, thanks, Sean. So what I want to maybe hit is the subtle differences between the two installations. So we obviously know that Dodea schools are on both on Anderson and Navy property, and there are some differences to the procedures or the protocols that we follow. Not because we're trying to make it difficult, but because each installation has a different mission set. So rather than going over the protocols that we follow, I will say that Navy-based Guam naval installations have a very similar process to what Major Nelson just outlined. The subtle differences is on how we treat, at least from the Navy side of the house, how we treat unvaccinated individuals, whether they are COVID positive unvaccinated or close contact unvaccinated personnel, how we treat vaccinated but individuals that are eligible for booster, so fully vaccinated but not yet boosted, and then that third category, fully boosted, or I'll also group in COVID recovered individuals. So the main difference is, rather than a 5-day quarantine or isolation, those individuals who are unvaccinated or ineligible to be vaccinated, if they are a close contact, they will have to undergo a 10-day quarantine period. Similarly, if they are unvaccinated or ineligible to be vaccinated, if they are COVID positive, they will undergo a 10-day isolation. For everything else, that 5-day period of quarantine or 5-day period of isolation is very similar to what Major Nelson just outlined. And again, it's not to be difficult. It's to, I guess, differentiate between the two installations and the mission sets, trying to weigh or balance that risk of protecting the force and meeting the mission requirements, but also trying to protect the most vulnerable individuals that could be coming on to that installation, such as the children or those with underlying health conditions. With that said, I'm happy to take additional questions or clarify anything that I've said.
Yeah, and I think I'll just jump in real quick with that. So, for example, what we get is sometimes we'll get Air Force personnel whose child goes to the high school up there, and they get notified that they're a close contact. So even though they're Air Force, in order to get back onto naval facilities, they do have to accomplish that 10 days. If they accomplish this 5 days with us, they're free to come on to our base and everything. But in order to go back onto naval facilities, they do need to abide by Navy regulations. So I know that there is some confusion that does come with parents with that, because there are different regulations there, but they just need to respect whatever regulation on the facility that they're trying to get onto. And with that, we're open for any questions. Over.
So just to clarify, so if it's an Air Force dependent that goes to Guam High School, they need to follow the Guam Naval Hospital?
Correct.
Okay.
We have a question from Jeremiah Forbes. Would you please unmute and ask your question, please?
Hi, this is actually his wife, Liz. I have a couple questions. The first one is, do we have a number for the COVID pediatric admissions for the Guam Dodea population? And by pediatric, I mean under the age of 18.
Like the number of COVID cases in the schools?
No, the number of COVID admissions, meaning not testing positive, but the number of children who have been admitted to Navy Hospital for COVID.
They wouldn't give that out.
So this is Dr. Willard. I don't have that number readily available, but I trying to understand the context of the question. We're not obviously the only hospital on island, nor are we the only hospital within the Navy that could see potential COVID positive pediatric patients.
Yeah. No, sir, and I understand that, but I also realize too that the Dodea school system is different than from the off base, and so that's why I was asking specifically as to what the COVID pediatric admissions were for pediatric patients in the Guam Dodea population.
Okay, I understand, and I'm sorry, I don't have that information readily available.
Okay, so then my second question is, what are the benchmarks that we need to reach in order for the children to be able to unmask?
Well, I can try to answer that again. When you say we, can you clarify what group of individuals you're referring to when you say we?
I guess I'm just meaning, like, are we basing the benchmark off of the children's COVID numbers, whether it's children admissions or children COVID positive is what I'm asking. Like do we have, like a schematic of, okay, once we get to this point, then we can start talking about unmasking, or have we even started that yet?
And that has to do with the HEPCON level. When we see that we are in a certain HEPCON level, that's when we start talking about that. Per the DODEA protocol of COVID operational guidelines.
Okay, and so what is that? What are those specifics?
The West Superintendent has his up too. He would like to speak to this, I believe. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much. Good afternoon, Guam. Ms. Forbes, great question. If you'd go to the dodea.edu website, we have the COVID protocols listed on there, where masking is currently one of our policies from the headquarters level. It's quite a lengthy document. It would take the rest of our time today to kind of go through that, but it's currently on the website and anybody can go through it whenever they need to. But great question, Ms. Forbes. Thank you.
And so I guess my question is in that document, it is stated what specifics have to happen in order for the children to be unmasked.
Right. Yes, it is. It is.
What page? What page?
Please look on page 9.
Excuse me.
It really is.
Thank you, Matt, very much for joining us, gentlemen. We're going to press on. Go ahead, Ms. President. Madam
Okay,
President,
thank you
please.
so much. Yes, we appreciate the questions, and unfortunately, some of it's not decided at a school board level. So when we get any information, we will certainly pass along the information. But I don't even think it's a Guam decision. It's a command decision. Yeah. So, and unfortunately, I don't have the inside information on that. So,
but nobody knows the answer to my question.
It's in that guide on page 9.
okay, so we'll look farther into that, and that is a public document then, Dr. Dial? That's on, yes.
Yes, it is.
Thank
I
you
will
so
put the
much.
link in the chat.
Major Nelson and Dr. Willett, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having us. I'm going to sign off here unless I'll pause for 5 seconds unless anybody's begging me to stay on.
Josh Lewis has a question.
Yeah, same here. This is Major Nelson just signing off. Appreciate that. If you have any further questions, just go ahead and let us know.
Josh Lewis.
Okay, have a good evening.
Hi, yeah, thanks for taking my question. I'll be quick, and it sounds like you have more topics to move on to, but my question is regarding the policy for mask wearing for our students while they're doing physical exercise. And the reason I ask is because my student came home complaining one day that he was wearing his mask during PE and felt sick to his stomach, and but he was still required to wear the mask. So I guess my question is, what is that risk decision on whether it's more risky for our students to wear masks during exercise when they're breathing heavily and need that oxygen versus the risk of not wearing masks during exercise. And I compare that to the risk decision that both Anderson and Naval Base are at right now for the adult population, where we can go into the gym and not have a mask on and exercise. Thank you.
I can answer that.
Okay.
Within the COVID guidelines, there was specific information that was given to all PE teachers and how they are to conduct their classes. So please refer to that guidance or reach out to your child's PE teacher for that explanation. But it explains exactly how they are to conduct the classes, what the students are to be doing, and also it outlines the mitigation measures that all the teachers are supposed to be observing.
So in a situation like that, that child could be pulled to the side and that child could take the mask
Yes,
off.
they do
So
wear
within
our
the-
mask breaks.
Right, so within the guidelines, they talk about mask breaks, but also when you're looking at the physical activity, physical education, it talks about spacing the kids 6 feet apart. It also talks about where as much as possible for the students to be outside, also physically distanced so that if they need to remove their mask, they can. But when they are closer, when they're in close proximity, that they are to wear their mask. And obviously, if they're running around the track, physically distanced, then they don't have to wear their mask. And it also outlines the recommendation of decreasing those physical activities within the gym or those rigorous ones, but curbing those to outside activities.
I hope that helps your answer then. Is he still muted? Okay, all right. Moving on to the next order of business, we have Master Sergeant Carlson is involved with the Civil Air Patrol. There's a STEM opportunity for schools, so if you want to go and talk a little bit about that, and then if you have your guest speaker on,
Yeah, so
hopefully he's on. I can't see.
quickly we'll see if Lieutenant Black, are you there?
Yep, I just pushed my presentation. So good evening, everybody. I'm Lieutenant Black with the Anderson Civil Air Patrol Squadron. Civil Air Patrol is the Air Force's volunteer auxiliary. We have 3 core missions. Emergency services, which is search and rescue, which is heavily search and rescue. Cadet programs, which we have here on Anderson Air Force Base. If anybody has kids, middle or high school, we have a cadet program. We have a weekly meeting that they can attend. We do a lot. We're rolling into model aviation right now. And then what I'm going to talk about today, which is aerospace education. So specifically, we're presenting our aerospace education member program. This is heavily targeted at teachers and educators. And this would allow teachers to join Civil Air Patrol but not have the responsibilities of being part of a squadron. And the big thing is that the teachers get access to our Civil Air Patrol curriculums. We have a massive amount of curriculums and programs, for all ages. Some of them, this is a short list of what's available from the website currently. And these are heavily activity based. We have programs K through 12 and even a few for adults. Everything from paper airplanes to model rockets, paper airplanes, model rockets, and everything in between. Also, programming, cyber robotics, and the other thing is the other program, and the thing that many of you would be very interested in, will be the STEM kits. So these STEM kits are given out by Civil Air Patrol to squadrons and aerospace education members at no cost to the member. So they just you basically sign up, or you'd sign up, request a STEM kit, and they send however many you need for the amount of kids you say you have. On your screen, this is a short list. Lost in Space is a programming and electronics one for middle and high school. We just did Sphero, that's programming and actually programming robotics and, if you believe it, trigonometry in a robot ball. And the other nice thing about these kits is that all but 3 of them are 100% reusable. We've shipped 2,700 kits in the last year, or in 2022, 1,100 applications have been filed and 2,700 kits have been shipped. Also, teachers that join this program, or teachers and educators that join this program, can get free orientation rides in a Civil Air Patrol aircraft when they're visiting CONUS, Hawaii, or Alaska. You can freely attend the aerospace and National Civil Air Patrol conferences. It's a one-time lifetime membership at $35. Annual renewal at no cost. And then at the bottom we have the links to the national site and a local POC. please email us if you'd like to see some of the, I think we have one STEM kit in-house right now. Or if we have paper copies of all of the, of most of the curriculum materials available, but you can also get them digitally. Any questions?
Thank you so much for that opportunity. All of the administration got the flyer, so hopefully you'll be able to pass that on, because it is K through 12 opportunities, correct?
Yes, ma'am. And so, yes, and also for any parents, we also have a program Wednesdays at the Wednesday nights at 6:30 at the chapel, or at the Anderson Chapel 2 Annex. If any cadet or children, middle or high school, would like to join our squadron, or adults would like to volunteer.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that amazing opportunity.
Thank you for allowing me to.
All right, the next.
Any
Questions? Thanks, Isaac.
That sounds amazing. That's great. Moving on to the next order, we wanted to just, is Ms. DeBeer on the?
She should be.
I know, she should be right next door, actually, but I.
She stepped out.
Just to let.
Oh, there she is.
Oh,
She's
okay.
here.
Hi, Ms. DeBeer. Ms. DeBeer is the president of McCool PTO, and she has a, I know uniforms are always kind of a constant need for, we have limited resources sometimes. In our PTO closet at McCool, we have a uniform exchange store almost. So if you bring in small uniforms, your children have outgrown it, you can exchange one for one. Or if you're new to the island, you can purchase them just for $1. I just wanted Ms. DeVere to share the her kind of process. And if anyone from Anderson needs uniforms, you're welcome to come down to McCool. And since obviously it's all the same uniform, but Ms. DeVere was just going to share her idea. If you would like to just pop in there, Ms. DeVere.
Hi, thank you. So basically we have office hours every Wednesday from 8 to 11. Right now, are they changed sometimes? We post on our Facebook page and we have a sign up Genius, so you can sign up so you have your own time slot. That way we can control visitors in the office so we don't have too many people at one time. And then you can come in during your sign up time and shop the uniform locker. As Vicki said, you can do any piece for $1. We have tops and bottoms, various sizes. And if you would like to donate at any time, we have that as well, or you can swap one for one. So if you have 5 tops that are too small, you can, swap out for free 5 more pieces. And as Vicki said, those from Anderson or even high school students, we have some sizes too that we kind of keep on hand, those sizes that go back and forth between middle and high school. So we also, the Navy Marine Corps Relief Society, when they get in uniform pieces, they donate those to us as well. So we have quite a large selection. We were very fortunate to get a lot of donations over the summer. So if anyone ever has any questions or would just like to reach out to us, you can get us at mccoolpto@gmail.com, or our Facebook page is monitored daily as well. Did I cover everything? I think that was pretty much.
Thank you so much. We just wanted to make sure that there are opportunities for people that are PCSing into it. We do have some options if you can't find something, at the exchange or out in town and you don't have time for shipping. We do have this option for all parents. So just wanted to get that information. The next item actually was covered. Do you feel like the public health representatives, that's what we had some questions about the difference between Navy base versus Anderson versus, the high school, but I think the public health representatives covered that very clearly, so that worked out perfectly. Is there anything else that anyone has questions about?
Piggyback really quick to the uniforms. Was there clarification on the colors?
Oh, yes, that's where we're getting, yes, we're, yep, we're getting it, yeah.
I'd like to say, if not, but a huge thank you to our nurses at the schools, because they are doing a fantastic job working with public health.
Yes.
Talking to families, and I can speak about my school nurse. She spends the majority of her day answering parents' questions, following up, especially when we have students out for COVID and even some adults. But our nurses are doing an amazing job.
Yes.
So we can't pay them enough, but they've been working overtime trying to assist.
Going over,
We appreciate them.
Yes, they do a wonderful job. The next item is an updated sports schedule, but luckily we actually made this agenda a couple weeks ago when there were no, when sports were kind of on hold, but it seems that high school is high school back up and running for the most part?
All high school sports have resumed.
Okay, great.
The only difference is between the two leagues when we talk about spectators.
Okay.
ISA, and I'm probably gonna get it backwards. Yep, go right ahead.
We are now where ISA and IIAG allow 2 spectators per player.
Okay.
For each side, and so prior to that, IIAG allowed it and ISA did not.
Okay.
But now we're all on the same thing, so.
Great.
We can have a very limited amount of spectators, but still, parents, they have to sign up, but they're allowed to come and watch their player play, so it's great.
Great, that's good. And middle school is back up and running then as well?
Yes, that is correct.
Good. And what
We're
sports?
doing boys volleyball and girls soccer
Okay,
right now.
and are they allowed spectators?
Yes, and
Okay.
it's the same,
We're
we follow
double-A.
the same policy.
Great,
Yes.
good, okay, so that's, well, good,
Get the
things,
turn into the coach, the list of the people that
Gotcha.
are gonna be there.
so yeah, things have changed so much in the last 2 weeks,
Yes.
even though we just wanted to see if there was an update.
Yes.
The next item on here, is Miss Desiree Blickens on? BLI.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so the next item we wanted to bring up, Ms. Blickens is the Girl Scout coordinator on Navy base, and unfortunately, the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts on Navy base are losing they had houses in Lockwood, and they are losing them. Ms. Blickens, do you want to explain the situation and ask, and I had said that we would bring it up to see what the possibilities are, because I was not sure what the regulations were. So Ms. Blickens, do you want to unmute yourself?
Yes, thank you so much for having me. So yes, we've lost our houses in Lockwood, and we had a meeting on Friday with the CEO and Public Works Officer, and they are truly invested in finding us a new option. I sent over the instructions. There's 2 instructions that I found so far that covers us. One is CNIC instruction 11,000. We are actually one of the big 5 non-federal entities. And when I say we, I am talking about Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts here. It allows us to have space on the base. We just need to find that right space for us. And also covered under DOD instruction 1015 as well. So as far as regulations go, if anyone else needs me to send that over, I would be happy to send those over for you. But basically, we need a space not just for meeting on a weekly basis, but we also have supplies and equipment that stay here locally with our troops for both Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. So we're really looking for, as permanent of an option as one can say, right? And for instance, the example that I gave is that this is common across overseas bases for Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts to have these types of spaces. In Yokosuka, both Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts do have their own dedicated room for each of them in the middle school. And they are allowed to access it whenever they need to. They have keys to the building to come and go. So, you know, there is precedent for this within Dodea Pacific for Scouts to have space at the schools. And additionally, you know, our Scouts are here to help you. You know, if there's a space that needs to be cleaned out or whatever, you know, we're here to help make this happen. You know, so I hope that you can find a space for us so that we can continue this wonderful program that we have here at Naval Base Guam.
Well, I'm the community superintendent, and I'm gonna speak to that. This is something that we would definitely have to pose to our leadership and to our counselor, our lawyers, because normally I have not known of Dodea having Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts housed at a school. However, we support them. If Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts wanted to have an activity, we would align them with our PTO. They would be under the PTO, but not under Dodea. You understand? So that
I believe I understand what you're saying, yes. And I assure you, I just came from Yokosuka, where they do in fact each have a room in the middle school on the base.
And I understand that, but in my experiences, I have not. So that is something that we would have to pursue to find out
Sure.
if that is something that we could do. But again, our school, our curriculum, our instruction takes priority. The non-DODEA, non-DOD organizations, the only one that we have in the school, housed in the school, in my experiences, have been the PTO, or the PTA. So that is something that we would have to look into before we commit to anything.
Sure, thank you. I really would sincerely appreciate that if we could look into it. And even though it hasn't been done before, we would really appreciate if we can make it happen. Thank you.
Thank you, and I see that Dr. Marzak has his hand up as well. Please go ahead, sir.
Hey, thank you very much. Appreciate it. So Desiree, completely understand what you're talking about, Ms. Wiley. Yeah, if it's something we haven't done before, that's something we have to investigate. Desiree, I would recommend you fill out a facilities request form. Put down all the information you'd like to see. It'll come here to us at the DSO. We'll research and we will get back to you on the applicability of your request.
No problem. I will do that as soon as possible. The
Thank you, ma'am.
facilities request form, do I get that from you guys?
From the school.
Or-
It should be on the school's website, right?
On the school website?
Each school has one, so just contact the schools that you're interested in being housed at, and they'll have a facilities request form for you.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Great, thank you so much. Okay, thank you. The next thing, we just wanted, we did have an updated graphic for all of the uniforms. There was some, just a little snafu. We decided as a board we need to date it at the bottom to make sure that it is the most updated. So hopefully, though all of that has been cleared up, the top colors, the bottom colors, and like I said, we wanted to make sure that all the parents were aware that there is the uniform closet if they are in need of new uniforms or upsizing, or, you know, obviously children grow all the time. So we just wanted to make sure that this was as clear as possible. and, you know, have as many options, and especially, you know, have the options for some used, uniforms if people are just coming into, onto the island. So hopefully that, cleared things up. All the schools should have sent it out, as the updated one, and hopefully there, like I said, clears up any sort of confusion. The last thing that we just wanted to say, administration, we would love to, visit.
Before you go
Yes.
further, I would really like to firm this up with the uniform, because we need to make sure.
Yes.
Because we have another 2 years or a year and a half, and this should not come up again.
Yes.
It should be very clear. You all made recommendations a year and a half ago as to how we should go, how we should move forward. So now we need to ensure that this is the recommendation. So that is not something that the administration and the schools are dealing with.
Well, and Ms. Wiley, I think that what happened is that we brought the one that was approved forward. It just had information missing that a lot were common questions, and it was like hair accessories and shoes. So we just added that verbiage. It didn't change colors or styles. And then that got presented, and then one got put out that was a previous one that said like, this color is not acceptable.
Right.
And so we just dating the bottom, so everyone's like, okay, if this is the date, this is what's, nothing else should be copied, nothing else should be presented. It's obsolete if it doesn't have that date.
And I understand, you all have made it clear.
Yes,
So
'cause-
that's what, you know, I just wanna make sure that it's clear.
We want to put it to bed
The board has recommended it, I supported it.
I think the confusion though was on the last one when it said white outerwear. White outerwear.
That wasn't what we didn't.
Okay.
Yeah,
that was one
Yeah,
previous
we-
prior to us.
Yeah, because the one that you approved was the one that this one, and it says the color, the sweatshirt colors are the same as the top colors.
However, not white top, white outerwear, because there are white polos that are approved, but not white outerwear. Does that make sense? Like the
White
sweatshirt.
White sweatshirts are allowed.
They are
Yes,
allowed.
they are allowed, yes.
Every color is
It wasn't supposed to be
Yes.
graphic. Don't know how that.
Yes,
So it's
they are,
changed.
they are,
No, they're always allowed.
yes.
Somehow that was like a previous
Yes.
one before us.
White, blue, gray, black.
Yes.
You can wear tops and any top color.
Yep.
Sweatshirt or polo.
We weren't involved in that conversation, we were just enforcing the rules.
Yeah.
All right.
It's this board right here, I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, because, yeah. That good? Okay.
If they don't have the right color, we'll pay.
Hashtag.
I say, so when we tell the students they don't have the right color, because they're still coming in like you.
I guess that's gonna be
I know.
teacher
It's
discretion.
gonna be administration to be consistent with
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so hopefully uniforms are not like continuous.
I know.
Um,
You're always a problem, don't you?
I know, so we tried to make it as
Always
like
a challenge.
basic, and you have, 4 options for color tops and the same for, or even more for the bottoms, so, and then hopefully we have the exchange closet, so hopefully we have enough options for people that are incoming and current students. Any other questions? All right, so the last.
I have a question.
Yes?
Ms. Reed.
My name's Melanie Reed, and with the new uniform graphic that you have put out from the schools, it's a little bit more clear, but can we send that up to JRM and Squadron 15, because they have a welcome aboard package, and they put in the old policy that I approved when I was on the school board in that thing. And so that's what the commands are sending to new perspective gains that are coming to the island, and they don't have that from Dodea. So if you can get that graphic to them and see if it's possible that they update their catalog again this year, or at least cross-reference it, that it doesn't, does that make sense, that it's not conflicting with the information they already have?
So much for bringing that to our attention. I didn't realize that. We can certainly send that. I'll get in touch with you, Ms. Reed, and get the information that we need for the correct, like in email, and then we can forward that to them.
Okay. And my last question is we're still talking that logos are permissible, correct, when we're talking about the uniform?
Under Armour, or if it's a small horse, not the huge ones.
Correct. When we're talking, that's for the polo shirts, but when we're talking about the sweatshirts, there wasn't a size for the sweatshirts logos. Outerwear is very hard to find on island, and the schools are 50 degrees sometimes and cold. And so I don't think that we should go against having kids who have larger than this quarter that I hear about, because that's not what we did for the school board. For the outerwear. Colors, yes. So like if you had a white shirt, but it had big pink Nike logo, no, that wasn't okay. It still had to fall in the colors of white, navy blue, gray, or black.
What is her question?
And so are you saying that the bigger logos on the sweatshirts were okay?
Acceptable.
Yes.
That's what she's saying.
Okay.
Because we're going against what suppliers and trends dictate. We can't as consumers control what Nike makes the small logo or not. They do on their polo shirts. We did that especially for like middle school students, because it's very hard when they're starting to become adult sizes and finding those just solid polo shirts. And it was a great change that we made. The little Under Armour or Nike or whatever in that left upper side, that gave them more options, especially for like the Next or the BX to buy those things. When we're talking about outerwear and sweatshirts, it's very hard to find a solid small logo. And when we're talking about, we always allow military, like a Navy, well, I'll say Navy because for McCool, right? So a U.S. Navy sweatshirt, you're not going to find a small logo.
Right. Is that
on an outerwear, and it's really cold. And so now too, we have supply chain problems, and some of our big suppliers like Old Navy and the Gap that people are ordering from to get these school uniforms are no longer shipping to Guam. So we're going to have a bigger problem finding those things.
Thank you so much, Ms. Reed. That is something we will discuss as a board again. We thought we were following what the previous board had voted on, but maybe we did not read it as well as it should have. So we will discuss that, and we'll make a decision on it for the next board meeting. Is that acceptable for everyone?
Yes.
And so as administration, would you be okay with just going case by case basis, as long as it's not, adverse to learning?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Thank you so much, Ms. Reed, for bringing that to our.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. Yes. Thank you. All right. And just real quick, the last thing, we would just love to come visit the schools again. Is that okay? Great. We'll set up dates. If you guys have anything that you'd like us to come for a special event, let us know. Otherwise, we'll probably just do another walkthrough before the final meeting of the year.
Okay.
Yep. Great.
Pep Rally Friday.
Oh, okay, well. All right, I know, all right, so it's already 7 o'clock, so we have some stakeholders reports. If we could start with the program manager, Ms. Askey or Ms. Atwood, are you on?
Who would you like?
on the agenda?
Anything that you'd like to share for the liaison report?
Yes, I do have something for the school liaison report. Okay, just I wanted to thank the school board members for providing a photo for our school liaison magazine. It's on page 10 of the current issue that you can find on militarymwrguam.com, or you can find it at any of your school offices. They have the books there, the magazines there. And we're already looking towards the next quarterly magazine. So if you have any input, the due date is February 18 for our issue that comes out April through June. And I know February 18 is coming up very quickly. We can push that a little bit. If you have some input, please let us know, and just let us know when you can get it to us. Okay. We already have been receiving some input. We've gotten some from Ms. Dial and from Guam High. So thank you very much, because it's you that makes this magazine. The input is what makes the magazine really successful. So thank you very much for your input. Just real briefly, we've been doing some collaboration with schools. We're looking forward to Read Across America, the military month of the military child that's coming up in April. And we've been talking about various partnerships with schools. And we also, as school liaisons, continue to work with the various transition clubs at each of the schools, the Anchored for Life and the Pacific transition clubs or ambassador clubs. I'm going to have Marcella talk a little bit about the digital resources that we have.
Good evening, everyone. Barbara and I have a variety of digital resources that are free. Families can contact us at the SLO Guam email or call our offices. Our information is on the MWR Guam website. These resources pertain to reintegration, deployment, speaking with teens and children, about stress management. So those things, again, are in our office. We also have a variety of other resources and supports for children and families in our offices in regards to mental health and social needs. I also have the CYP report. This Thursday, the region will be conducting interviews for the region CYP director position. For those of you who may remember Rachel Hartman, she now has moved over to the MWR region position, so we will be hiring for her CYP position. Child and Youth Programs is launching a hiring and retention initiatives. You'll be seeing this as worldwide for prospective and current staff members. CYP always has tuition assistance for their current employees. So anyone who is looking for work and likes to work with children, please check out Child and Youth Programs as a potential place to work. Child and Youth Programs is always looking for volunteer coaches for their youth sports programs, both at Naval Base and at Anderson. Both installation Child and Youth Programs have a PIB, Parent Inclusion Board, or a Parent Advisory Board, PAP. Anderson's PIB will meet tomorrow at 2:30. So any parents who have children in CYP programs, please come to the Anderson Teen Center at 2:30, voice your opinion, and support our kids in CYP. Teen Center at both Naval Base and at Anderson are currently open and in operation from 2 to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. The Teen Center is free. Repeat, it is free. Children just need to have their parents fill out a registration form. We have a lot of activities and programs at the Teen Center, including a scholarship, which is the Youth of the Year scholarship, which the winner receives $40,000. A new Toyota Camry. They get to tour the country and visit the White House. It is a very prestigious scholarship, and your children, military children, get access to this through their teen center. So please bring your kids, have some fun at the teen center. Finally, there are some events. I have the updates for Anderson. These are Anderson CYP events. The babysitter registration for the certification begins March 1st through the 25th. That is the babysitter certification at Anderson Teen Center, March 1st through the 25th. In March, Anderson will have registration for Start Smart Golf. That's for the little ones 3 to age, I believe, 8. The Baseball League, Volleyball Camp through spring break, and Get Golf Ready also through spring break. Again, these are Anderson Child and Youth Program sports. And on the 25th of March, Anderson Teen Center is having their Mes Chamorro lock-in. So I will be there with Miss Anna and Mr. Ronnie with a sleeping bag with our teens having some Mes Chamorro celebrations. We're going to make food and have some fun and play games. And anyone who has questions about any of the Anderson programs, you can call them at 671-366-1640. And that's all that I have for CYP.
Thank you so much. Is the ombudsman from JRM on?
Good evening. I am on, but I have nothing to add tonight.
So, anyone from the Navy Officers Spouses Club? Or the Team Anderson Spouses Club?
I'm going to represent for them.
Oh,
our Anderson Scholarship is available and is being advertised now for spouses and high school seniors associated at Anderson Air Force Base. So if you fall under those guidelines, look for it and apply.
Great. The Guam High School student representative? Ms. Hofschneid?
Hi. Can you guys hear me okay? Hello? You said? Okay, thank you. All right, hi, my name is Kaoi Hofschneider. I am the SGA PRO here at Guam High. Since our last meeting, SGA's hosted a Christmas holiday decoration contest between all 4 classes where, one moment, sorry. I'm presenting. Sorry, my family. Anyway, SGA's hosted a Christmas holiday decoration contest where between all 4 classes for Panther Olympic points, where the juniors won. Last Friday, we gave goodies such as breakfast spreads and self-care items to our lovely counselors for Counselor Appreciation Week and to show them some love that they well deserve. Today is Tuesday. We are currently hosting a February Spirit Week, and like Ms. Watts had said, tomorrow is our senior versus junior powder puff game, and this Friday is our first pep rally of the year. We also have people going on CCTV, sharing stories on Black historical figures for Black History Month, and we are currently preparing for Mes Chamorro and prom in April.
Great, thank you. Anyone from the Guam High School Booster Club? Ms. Solo, Chrissy?
Hi, can you hear me?
Thank you.
Perfect. I'm Chrissy Soul, and I'm the president of the Guam High Booster Club, like she said. I will be as quick as I can. As of right now, we have 59 members. Our goal and our budget was 60, so I think we're doing really great. On a consistent basis, we are in the school every week. Tuesdays from 10 to noon at the right across from the cafeteria. It's really fun to be there. Spirit wear, candy lays, stickers, and just interacting with the kids, especially things like Kaori said, Spirit Week this week. It's just fun to kind of be in the school. A couple weeks ago, I heard kids rocking out playing Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne. So that's like the fun stuff, to be in there and just kind of see what's going on at school. So December, we did a dessert bar for the staff, which was really great. January, we gave treats out at lunch the week before finals to every single student. We walked around during lunch, and they were kind of freaked out at first because I was like, no, it's free. And they were like, oh, yeah, of course we want it then and stuff. So it's just really nice to be in there and interacting with the kids. Also in January, we had planned to do a teacher workday thing, but then they ended up last minute working from home. So that didn't happen, but, and then last week we gave treats to the fabulous counselors. This Friday, we are going to be at the pep rally. We're donating some water for them to give out. And then we are also going to have prizes. And one of the things we started in November, and Panther News Network has been helping us, is every week we draw a name from all the students, and they get a little goodie bag with anything from a cowbell or a pom-pom and candies, candy layout, stickers, all this stuff, and then they get to come pick a Spirit Wear t-shirt. So the kids every week come on Tuesday and pick it out, and it's been really fun to interact with them that way as well. So, and then March, we will start our search for hopefully board members for the Booster Club next year. And then in April, Month of the Military Child. It's never too early. We have shirts, purple shirts for sale. And then we're also going to do purple candy lays that parents can purchase for their kids and send it. We will give them to them in school with maybe a note from their parents. So yeah, we've got a lot of stuff going on in the schools, and really enjoying being able to just be around a lot. So that's kind of it. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you so much. Is there anyone from the Anderson Elementary PTO? Ms. Julie Schmidt? Or the middle school, Tiffany Minton?
Oh, hi. Hello, my name is Kylie Marian Dial, and I am the Anderson Middle School Student Council Vice President. Currently, Anderson Middle School does not have a PTSO, but we are asking for volunteers. Please call our front office at 366-3880 if you are interested. Right now, we are having a Valentine's Day Spirit Week, and today was Pajama Day. I obviously changed before I got here. I didn't want you guys seeing everything. But tomorrow is anything but a bag day. During this day, we will bring anything but a school bag, a backpack, like a cereal box, or like some sort of crazy thing you can think of. On Thursday, it will be mismatch day, and you're just going to mix and match anything you have in your closet. And on Friday, it will be the Game of Love, which will be you dressing up as your favorite video game character. On February 22nd, 2022, we will celebrate Tuesday on a Tuesday by having students choose to dress up as a teacher, twinning with them, or twinning with a student. And they can also incorporate the number 2 in their wardrobe. And that's all we have going on for the week and the weeks after.
Great job. Thank you so much for stepping in there. And Ms. DeBeer, are you still on? Do you have anything to add from the cool PTO?
Sure. A few things that we have going on. We had a very successful readathon in the fall. We did some ornaments for the staff for the holidays. And then just recently this week, we had Teacher Appreciation Spread the Love Breakfast Bar. We have been doing Spirit Store. One notable change about Spirit Store before the holidays, the first semester, we were doing every Wednesday. Going forward, it will be every other Wednesday for Spirit Store during lunchtime. So this week we have Book Fair, which is super exciting. And then we'll also be looking forward to hopefully planning some things for Month of the Military Child and Read Across America Week and Teacher and Staff Appreciation in May. So we have a meeting coming up next week at the USO Wednesday at 3:30, excuse me. If anybody would like to join us and give us some ideas. We will also be looking to start collecting nominations for next year's board in March as well. So thank you.
Thank you so much for all those updates. Looking at the time, so we do have an open forum next. Are there multiple people with their hand raised? So it's going to be limited to 3 minutes, but I also want to remind you that we do have an active email account. Ms. Ferguson does check that. So if you do have any questions that we can't get to in the next 15 minutes, we do monitor that. And if you have anything that you would like to add, if you email that to us at the Guam School Board at Gmail, we will get that on the agenda. So just to know that there is a time constraint. But if we have anyone, go ahead.
So we have Mr. Tallstein first. He was
Okay.
the first question. Go ahead and unmute, sir.
Hi, thank you. Good evening. First, Mrs. Reed, I am from Squadron 15, and I apologize for the oversight on the uniform policy. We'll get that handbook updated. It is a valuable resource, and we do our best to provide a consolidated one-stop shop for our incoming personnel, so I'll take that one for action. For the rest of the board, I understand that decisions can't be made during school board meetings, so rather than ask a bunch of questions, I want to take an opportunity to make several statements to kind of highlight the feelings a number of parents, both within my command and the sphere of friends that my children play with have. I understand COVID's been hard on a number of people, but I want to reiterate some frustrations. Ms. Wiley, I know I spoke with your secretary earlier, and I know you're aware of the current issue that I'm having regarding school activities sponsored by the PTO. I truly believe that there are several instances of broken communications just based on the multiple and drastic revisions to the base policies and the HEPCON policies. I don't believe this is unique to the day of schools. Personally, I've seen it misrepresented or misconstrued information coming from MWR, CYP, as well as some other people that just, for lack of a better word, have been doing what we've been doing rather than following the most up-to-date guidance and using it as liberally as we can to make everyone's experience better. The most recent Naval Base Guam HEPCON Bravo order came out about a month and a half ago, and there are still some organizations erroneously attributing COVID restrictions to base policy. Further down beyond that initial statement of masks being required in all DoD facilities, it does state that masks are not required outdoors when able to maintain adequate social distancing, and that masks are not required at all during physical exercise. It specifies a requirement for any DoD-sponsored meeting greater than 50 personnel to have a review of public health. However, in that same paragraph, it lists Dodea schools as an exception to that requirement. With regards to Ms. Forbes' line of questioning, I just spent the last hour while I was listening going through that operational guidelines, and it only lists the different HEPCONs. It does not discuss a pathway ahead with regard to removing masks or under what HEPCON masks would be removed. That being said, the most recent revision is from July 2021, and I think we can all admit that there have been several scientific revelations since then, such as like elimination of surface contamination as a source of disease spread, effectiveness of vaccines, and the revised definition of what we should call a close contact. I think there needs to be some feedback mechanism to the DoDEA at large to push for an update, and I don't know what that looks like. Admittedly, I'm ignorant of that process, so short of sending an email to this account that we just talked about, I think the parents around would like to know how we can be a vehicle for that change. I know there's a lot of discussions and frustrations on COVID, and I don't mean to speak for everyone here, but I think it would be appropriate at this point to kind of request a parent town hall dedicated to just the COVID discussion and how we get the children from all the questions of how do we get them out of masks outside, as that is a starting point, to how do we get them out of masks in the classroom and down the line. I do thank you for the time to speak. I want to reiterate that I am fully available to discuss concerns in person over the phone, and along with a number of the parents here, committed to helping be part of the solution. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. And we, of course, want to keep our kids in school. So has he been in contact with you, and maybe, or should we, are you able to send that in writing to also the Guam School Board to see what we can do to help us get to the point of what you're talking about?
Yeah, I guess what I'm saying here is the instruction doesn't have a set of guidelines. It doesn't have a way ahead. I don't think that Todd Tallstein should be the one deciding that, but there should be at least a panel of maybe not even parents, but somewhere in the DoDEA schools, there should be every other organization has a pathway ahead. And it's not in that operational guidelines that was addressed earlier. I just went through all 55 pages of it.
Sir, this is Gail Wiley. We are having an update coming out in the next few weeks. So they are working on an update. So we will be giving an update. And if you would like to set up a meeting with me, please feel free to call Ms. Duenas and set up a meeting.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for joining us. Is there anyone else?
Next hand up is Cub Scout Pack 23.
Okay, so 3 minutes, ma'am? Or sir? I don't, sorry, I can't see.
Ma'am, that's, yes. So just to kind of reiterate some of the things that Desiree said earlier, I'm with the Cub Scout Pack. We are actually chartered through McCool PTO and have been working very closely with Mrs. De Beers, and she's great. Can't say enough great things about her. I have been searching on the McCool website for the facilities request form and cannot find it. Is that something I can come in and get from the school front office, or can I be given an email on how to actually find that form, because I have been searching and cannot find it?
You may come in and get the form, or it can be sent to you via email.
That's right.
If for emails, which email should I send the request to? So who do I request that form from?
Would you call the office and ask for, is it Candace?
Yes, Ms. Schwalbach.
Ask for Ms. Schwalbach, and she will send you the form.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yep,
Next question was from Ricky Oliver.
go ahead.
Yes, good evening. I just had a quick question. So the medical representatives that were on earlier, they say something about our children being high risk. I'm just trying to figure out how are we actually determining our children are high risk, because children that catch COVID are like 0.04% chance of actually having something happen to them, and they make up like 0.00012% of all COVID deaths that have happened so far.
I don't know.
If you send your question to me, I can send it to Lieutenant Commander Willard and Major Nelson.
I'm sorry, you say send that question to you?
And I can send it to them.
Oh, okay, I appreciate it. Yeah, we'll definitely be in touch, because I think, like Mr. Tolston was saying, a lot of those parents have concerns with these COVID mitigations that I think are doing more detriment to our children than actually helping them, as far as helping them with the learning environment, actually getting any kind of socialization. And, our kids come home from school talking about the difficulties of them breathing if they're doing physical activities outside and stuff like that.
And again, we will reiterate that to our teachers, because if they are outside and they're 6 feet apart, they can take off their mask.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yes,
Another question from Marcella Shepard.
go ahead, ma'am.
Yes, hello. I originally wanted to kind of piggyback off of Liz Forbes' question regarding the benchmark that needed to be met regarding masking. And I did go to page 9 that you talked about. It says schools operated by the DoD education activity may operate in accordance with guidance from the director of DODEA. So I'm wondering, is the director on the call right now so I can address a specific concern?
No, ma'am. But if you
send
it in, we can send it, we can answer it for you.
Okay, can I still ask my question just in case? So, I mean, maybe there's other parents that are concerned about the same thing?
Yeah, sure. You have 2 more minutes.
Okay. Thank you. I'm wondering if the director does some sort of risk-benefit analysis that's conducted, and if they do that, I'm wondering if the psychological and physiological effects are considered. Those effects that the masks are having on our children, like not being able to see their teachers and their peers showing emotion and facial expressions. I mean, that's extremely important in their development. It could cause a lot of problems in the future. So I just want to make sure, these issues are, considered and can be addressed. I don't know if I'm the only person who thinks about this. My husband and I both kind of feel the same way about this, so.
And ma'am, again, our operational guide is being revised, and they are looking at getting 2 but we are not at that point right now.
Okay,
But it is being visited.
okay. I just want to make sure, all things are considered. Hospitalizations, if they're low and, kids aren't really having as severe of a response to COVID, I just want to make sure everything is considered. So I appreciate it. Thank you. I'll make sure that I contact the correct people. Thanks.
Thank you for joining us. Anyone else?
We have one more, Megan McGinn.
Oh,
I think
perfect.
that'll probably be our last one.
Yep, that'll be
before
3
we can
minutes. Go
adjourn.
ahead,
Yep,
Ms.
go ahead.
McGinn.
Hi, also a concern here about your math policy, and I'm really glad to hear that. I just wanted to let you all know that.
That's on her end. Ms. McGinn, there's something wrong with your microphone. There's a lot of feedback and we cannot.
Are you able to hear me?
Apologies, ma'am. It's not working for us. Can you please send an?
Thank you.
Our chat box is not.
Oh, the chat, okay. Well, hopefully, okay, was she the last one?
Yep, she's good.
Okay, well, I thank you so much for all your time. Oh, it's 7:27. I think we got through everything. We'll talk about some things as a board. We'll reconvene about the sweatshirts policy. We look forward to conducting some more school visits before spring break. And so is there any other final questions or concerns?
I'd just like to make one announcement, if I may. All right, I want you to know that it is very unlikely that Dr. Jennifer Atkinson will be at the April meeting. She has accepted a principalship at Barkley Elementary School on Kentucky, in Kentucky. Fort Campbell, Kentucky, yes.
Congratulations.
And so we are very proud of her. And, we hate to see her go because we have such a wonderful, the three of us have such a wonderful connection, but we know that she's gonna do great things at that school, so we're very, very proud of her.
Well, we
Just
certainly
wanted you
wish
to
you
know that.
well. Yes, thank you for your service here.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I motion to adjourn this meeting at 7:28.
Second.
All right, thank you very much. We will see you all in April then.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Oh, yes, yes. There you go.
Thank you.
Sorry.
No, you're
I
good.
don't know all these people.
No, you're good. I was just like, I'm like sitting here writing like a bad Yes, it was. Thank
Yes, yes. Joe, you're here for another, you're not moving, right? But you're not PCSing, right? No. You're here and Alex, you're here for, yeah, so.